Hey, Raptor Freaks, Lexiot's here Wednesday morning. Glad to have you with us. Hey, David, what's up, man? How you doing? And Monique, good to see you early talking about stuff like that. Today's subject is the hot topic du jour, the thing that's really everything and everybody is talking about like crazy right now. And it is the release of NBA 2K23, a video game that is going to be released today, actually, tonight. There's some people that have already gotten it last night, pre-downloaded on their systems, and they're already playing it right now. The real diehards have hit the ground and running with NBA 2K23 already right now and stuff like that. So, they have released the ratings for the Raptors to a degree. There's been a lot of like fake ratings that have been on the net right now. So, you really need to be careful about where you're looking and what you're looking at because some of the information out there is not for real and like legit. So, but I think I found the right ratings. And like Scotty on his Twitch last night was looking at himself and kind of looking over the Raptors ratings. And he kind of had the same agreement as a lot of Raptor fans today. Been waking up and seeing the ratings for the Raptors. They're a little low. Now, this just smacks of the normal kind of stuff that happens to our franchise as far as disrespect and kind of just like, yeah, they're going to sewer us, put us down a little bit and stuff like that. But I wanted to look at these numbers in particular and kind of talk about them a little bit for each one of them. Now, if we talk about Scotty first right away, his number right now is 84. And that's actually not that bad for him. He started last year with like a number in the mid 70s, and they raised him up pretty quickly as the season progressed last year. That's the kind of thing that these developers do with this video game is they start them at a certain place where they speculate where they might be, and then they react to how they actually perform in real life and either bumping them down or bumping them up. And I think they're going to have to bump up the Raptors a lot this season. They're going to find out like very quickly as they're going along just that how much they underestimated how good some of these guys are. And I'm going to name a couple of them in particular. Paul B's here. Good to see Paul B. Raptors will make them updated. Yeah, that's what he's saying. That they'll make them updated over and over again during the regular season. I really do believe this also. That the one that really, really stands out in the starting lineup for the Raptors that is very disrespectful is Gary Trent Jr. He's rated at a 78 as far as from what I can see. Now, the most factual place I've been able to find the ratings from, one of the places on Reddit that somebody actually has a screen capture of the starting lineups of the Raptors versus the Rockets, and that this one's kind of been deemed as being a real NBA 2K23 screenshot that there's a lot of ones that aren't real or they're ones from last year. There's a lot of people that are trying to get people to come and look at their stuff and they don't actually have any information, stuff like that. Like in this situation, they've got Fred VanVleet at 83, Gary Trent at 78, OG Anunoby 81, Scotty Barnes 84, and Pascal Siakam 86. Now, when you look at those numbers, there's a couple of them that are egregiously low. And I think Gary Trent Jr. at 78 is really the most obvious one. That, you can take a look at that same screen capture and look at the Rocket side. You got Kevin Porter Jr., Jason Tate, Alpern Sengun. They're all just 1 point below Gary Trent. And then Jabari Smith Jr., I guess he's their rookie that they just drafted, is at 78, the same exact number as Gary Trent. So yeah, they really did Gary wrong. I mean, he deserves to be right around where the other rest of the starters are. He should have at least an 80, in my opinion. I think most of these guys should all be bumped up too. Now, Scotty's number is about right for right now, but he could really do some incredible things this season, and he'll get bumped up even further, closer to 90. But the other guys are all, as far as I can tell, OG, Pascal, Fred, and Gary, they're all at least 2 points too low with their ratings. Like, that's what I'm really seeing here. Like, Fred could be 85. Gary should be at least 80, if not 81. OG is probably going to look better. Now, OG's may be a little debatable just because of how much he missed time at different times in his career and stuff. But I think he'll make a jump and he'll deserve a better rating very early in the season. And then Pascal, after Gary, is the most like, this is very wrong. Like Pascal should not be 86. He should be in the 90s. He should be at least 90, if not higher. Because if you're in the 90s, you kind of get that, really hard to stop kind of go to superstar kind of stuff. And that's what they're saying. That's the whole thing that works with this is that the ratings for 2K23 kind of shape perceptions of the people who play the video games of how good different people are. Because that's just how it is. It's like you look at the rating and like, oh, well, this is how good this person is. This is really an interesting way that this video game influences the perception of the value of players. And I think that's a very interesting thing how that works together. Lolita, good morning to you, Lolita. Always good to see you. Denial saying, I missed the longer streams. Morning, Lexi. Let's go, Raps fans. Yeah, Denial. Well, listen, once the season starts back up, don't worry. We'll be doing like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour streams because there'll be games to talk about and stuff. This just really is the tough time for me to, stretch out any long content and stuff like that. But I'm glad that you enjoy the longer streams. And that's awesome. Don't worry, they'll happen. Paul B is saying, what ranking would you give Kem Birch? Well, all right. There is a site that has the whole Raptors roster on here and has them all in order. And I think this is reputable because the numbers are actually the same as the ones in that screen capture I was just talking about. This is at 2kratings.com. And they actually updated this since yesterday with the new numbers. The Scotty's 84 now on there instead of 82. Pascal's 86 on there. Now they have Kem at 76 right now for his rating, which isn't bad, but he's only 1 point below Precious. He's 1 point below Otto Porter. He's 1 point higher than Thaddeus. He's 2 points below Boucher and 2 points below Gary Trent Jr. Now, you tell me, should Kem Birch be a 76 and Gary Trent Jr. should be a 78? That's what I'm saying. It's the relativeness of it. I mean, I'm great with Kem Birch being a 76. That's perfectly fine with me and stuff like that. So it's very interesting. Naco the Nacho, good morning. Based on last season, I feel like Gary should be ahead of OG in 2K23. That's actually a pretty good observation. I think maybe just from production and different things like that, I could see them being very equal. Like that maybe be what should it be. It should be like they should both be like 82 or something like that. That seems like that would be a more reasonable ratings for Gary and OG in particular. And I totally get what you're saying, Nako, about last season in particular, because OG missed time. Gary stepped up and had different times where he was absolutely so sensational for us. G agrees. Gary at 78 is disrespectful. And I think that was the one that really jumped out to me the most because look, our team last year we had like 5 guys that averaged over 15 points a game. There weren't any other teams in the league that did this, and this year I think we're going to have 6 guys that may average over 15 points a game. That if they're all averaging over 15 points, they should be pretty equitable. And that Gary Trent Jr. got left behind a little bit with his ranking here, stuff like that. Let's see. G's also saying LaMelo Ball is rated higher than Pascal. Okay. This smacks of the stuff from the All-Star game last year. That LaMelo got that one of those last spots when they were probably maybe should have given it to Pascal at that point, but they wouldn't give a second All-Star to us because Fred was already in, and LaMelo got put in as a replacement. And all of us were kind of saying, you know what, maybe Pascal should be the replacement player coming into the All-Star game. And he did get an All-NBA by the end of the year. But yeah, that to me is wrong. That's wrong in a lot of ways. LaMelo's a younger player. He hasn't accomplished as much. Sure, he's exciting to watch. A lot of people love him. They enjoy watching him. But if you're really talking about who's more important to their team and what they're doing and more offensively capable of taking over the game and being absolutely the most dominant person on the court, it's Pascal Siakam. And that's the thing that I don't like about this 86 rating. If this is actually the true rating for Pascal, it's too low. It's got to be at least 90 2K23. You're sewering our scores here. Lolita's saying, I think our boys are well balanced and will be a big surprise to the NBA. The chemistry is so good. That's part of what it is. I've heard somebody describe the Raptors as being the most mid team in the league. And I think they're completely wrong. I think that if you think that our players are mid, you're going to find out real quick that it's not like that at all. I am really, really excited for this season. I think we're going to do really well and shock a lot of people, as we always do. Let's see. Interesting. Sad could be another word. Yeah, yeah. Paul, you're pretty accurate with this. I love that Paul's here this morning. I know Paul always watches later on, and he's not always here for us first thing in the morning. And I really enjoy that you're here, Paul, right now. Honestly, Lolita thinks G's being funny is that's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's messed up. I don't like that Lamelo's ranked higher than Pascal. I really don't like that. And I think that maybe, hopefully, Pascal can get out there and really show them that they made a mistake and stuff like that. Yeah. Denell saying, I agree at Lolita. They're very well balanced. I like it. Yeah, this is a strength. Like, Charles and Shaq saying that we don't have a superstar makes us not be able to do certain things to a certain level in the NBA. I don't actually totally believe this. That I really do feel like our continuity, our level of playing field of great players that are all around, it really helps us weather injuries. Like if we miss one or two guys like we did during different times of the season last year, Weeks didn't miss a beat. That there were other guys that picked up the slack until those other guys came back. There were capable people to jump in and take care of that time. Now it stretched our bench completely thin where it was like not even there. And we really had to rely on starters who were healthy. But, I think this is a real strength for us. And it's also part of the mechanism that makes them kind of downplay who we are because it's a classic thing where you have like three or four guys that are pretty good and none of them get on the all-star team. It's that same kind of thing. We have all these guys that are kind of in the same range of being really good. I mean, Pascal's above them, sure, but the rest of them are all kind of pretty equal as far as how good they are in the league and stuff like that. So let's see what Guan Amari. Good to see you again, man. Yeah, good to see you, Amari. Missed you a bit. Paul saying, whatever happened to those Fred Van Vliet signature and one shoes? They ever make it to stores? I love those green ones he wore this season. He had shoes that he was wearing. He had like Pooh shoes in the playoffs and stuff like that. Really cool shoes, like with Winnie the Pooh on them and stuff like that. I don't know what company that was and stuff like that. I don't know what happened with those shoes, Paul, and stuff like that. Now, Casey Bannerman's been making some fire jerseys recently. In fact, he's got a new one with Scotty Barnes on it. The art is so badass. Casey Bannerman, you are a real one in the Raptors community with the art you produce for Raptors fans and different people like that and stuff like that. I love your stuff, and I love that you're partnered up with Fred and do a lot of stuff with him and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't know, Paul. I don't keep up with the news on this specific subject as far as Fred's and one shoes. David's saying at Amari, what Guan, brother? Yeah, I love this. Hey, everybody. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's see. Paul B saying Siakam needs to wear brighter shoes if he wants a higher ranking above LaMelo. What are we basing those rankings on? Flashy passes and shoes. Okay, so Paul's saying that LaMelo's getting more higher ranking because part of it is really that he is the flavor of the year, flavor of the time. Like he's doing certain things. He's hip. He's young. He's the kind of player that is attractive to young people, and the NBA really wants to push him. He is a golden boy that the NBA will push maybe further than he's actually deserves in his young career. Like I still have problems with him in all kinds of different ways as a player. I don't think he's fundamentally good. I think that he's trying to do too much flashy, weird shit, and that he messes up quite often because he's doing that kind of stuff. I wouldn't want him on my team. I don't care. Like to me, he's very much sizzle and no steak. That he's very flashy and he's very good and stuff like that. But does that translate to winning basketball? Does that translate to championship? Because to me, a player like him is just like good for highlights. It's good for like, oh, he made a cool pass or he made a cool alley oop. But does he win championships? I don't think he does because there's certain fundamental things you have to be good at as a player, and he's not fundamentally good. In fact, I think Hornets are going to be really bad this year. I really, really do think the Charlotte Hornets are going to be very, very bad this year and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it could be that Pascal just needs to appeal to the kids more or do more flashy stuff that doesn't, man, I think that what Pascal does is so cool and attractive already with the spin moves and all the different things that he does, the way he gets his offense going and stuff like that. So, all right, Sue's here. Good morning, Sue. Good to see you, Sue. Always good to see Sue. G's saying at Paul, we need to send him lime green shoes. We'll do whatever. I mean, listen, they're going to do this. It's just part of how it is. It was really interesting to see Scotty kind of look over these rankings on his Twitch last night And he was saying basically what a lot of Raptor fans are saying today, that these are not right, they're wrong, and stuff like that. Like I could tell that he was annoyed and bugged by how his teammates were being dissed with the rankings. Specifically like probably Gary and Pascal really a lot on there and stuff like that. One lime green on magenta. Man, you guys are getting me all into this shoe styles and stuff like that. Listen, they're gonna have good style no matter what. I mean, Freddie has some swag with his brand, Bet on Yourself, and different things like that going on with him. And like, listen, we know Fred's gonna look sharp out there, but maybe Pascal, yeah, maybe you need to look a little flashier. Maybe you'll get a little more favor from different people and stuff like that. Nako's saying, I don't know if I'd consider Tatum a superstar, and they got to the finals. Exactly. Like, listen, if you're going to say Tatum's a superstar, Pascal is too. That's just the pure guts of it. NBA people, NBA media, ESPN, TNT, NBA TV, all y'all. That if you think that Jason Tatum is a superstar in this league, so is Pascal Siakam. And that it's really, there is a bias. There is also other different factors that are involved in this and stuff like that. But I really agree with this. Like, if you're not going to give superstar title to Pascal Siakam, then I refuse to call Jason Tatum a superstar. I refuse to call LaMelo Ball a superstar. These are just young players that are good. The superstars are like LeBron James and Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard. But these are just young stars. They're not superstars yet. If you're not going to give it to Siakam, you better not give it to Tatum, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm with that on that. All right, let's see. Randolph Phillips, good to see you again. It's been a bit. Greetings to all. Always a pleasure just listening to the program. Hey, however you guys like to ingest the Raptor Freak stream, whether you want to be an active participant and talking to me and putting in comments, letting us know what your opinions are and stuff like that. That's why we're here, baby. This isn't just all about me and stuff like that. This is for all of us. Like, we love to espouse our opinions and show our passion and our love for the Toronto Raptors. And this is a great place to do it, because this is a two-way street. I'm not just here to talk myself. I love hearing from you guys, and y'all's opinions and the things you say matter a lot to me and stuff like that. So, but Randolph, if you feel like talking some days, that's fine. But if you feel like just listening, I know some people have told me that they put me on as far in the background, kind of like a radio show, and just kind of listen to me in the morning and kind of catch stuff that way and stuff like that. Denial saying, ta-da, ta-da, y'all. Check out Ta-da. That is the company of Canadian Cowboy. He's doing painting and remodeling and carpet cleaning and stuff like that. He does different services for people. If you need that service, check out Ta-da. What do you think about this Jordan Clarkson news? If we did, who do you think we'd trade for him? Oh, is there trade talk right now about getting Jordan Clarkson on the Raptors? Well, I'm officially closed for any kind of trade talk for the rest of the year. This off season, for this until the season starts. I just don't think we need to make any more moves. We are seeing some more moves happening around, and I am going to talk about this Harrell signing to the Sixers. This is something we're going to need to talk about, but I'm kind of waiting for a Sixer fan to come in here and ask me to talk about it, because I know Random Gamer may show up and say he wants to hear my opinion on Montrez coming to his team, but we will be talking about that before I'm done today. So we'll see if a Sixer fan shows up, as they normally do, and we'll see if they want to talk about Montrezl Harrell. But as far as Jordan Clarkson, I'm not for him coming to the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors have who they should have for this season right now. That's what I really feel like. I mean, even the Josh Jackson acquisition last week to me was like such a huge thing. I'm like, holy crap, we have so many guys fighting for a spot on this team. And it's going to be really, really tough to figure out who's going to make it and who isn't. And I think we're really good already in some ways. So, all right, let's see. Vinnie Mac's back again. Vince McMahon, what? I know you're retired now. I love that you're frequenting our stream and stuff like that, but let's see what he's saying today. I love seeing Vinnie Mac. Should I read it like Vince McMahon, like I did the other day? Off topic question. Moo. I feel the 1990s had more talent and physical front courts compared to today's game. Today's game, I feel, has more talented guard play compared to the 90s. What do you think? This is a cool question. This is the kind of stuff I love to deal with, that with you guys bring me sometimes. I think that the 90s had more talent and physical front courts. I think this is completely true, that like in the last 10 or 15 years, we've had big men that have gotten softer. That like Bargnani and Bosch period of the Raptors really kind of signifies kind of part of what's going on now. that in some ways, if you are a very physical big guy, you can really make your mark and throw your weight around because it is a lot more about finesse big men. A lot of these big men are outside shooting threes now. So they're not even doing like grunt work down in the paint and stuff. Now, this is something different about Scotty is that he actually does want to get in there and get physical and mix it up. I can tell this is what he's going to do this year. He's all about bullying the baby that's on his back when he's near the basket. And that may be a really good thing for him because it's a little bit different than what a lot of people are doing these days, is using physicality and strength in the low post to get easy baskets. I agree with that first part. I think that in the old NBA in the 90s, the physicality of people like Charles Oakley, Charles Barkley, Rick Mahorn, all these kind of players like Dennis Rodman, that was a lot more physical. You'd see a lot more tying up and stuff like that. And these guys were really tough guys, and the refs let them get away with a lot more than back then. Also, to a degree, like they would be on the down low. Guys like Rodman and Barkley would be jostling and fighting for position, and they'd be hitting each other in the back on the down low where the ref couldn't see and stuff like that. So I agree with that part of your statement. As far as the other part, today's game I feel has more talented guard play compared to the 90s. What do you think? Well, it's hard to compare the 90s to now, basically because the hand checking rule. The hand checking rule went away, and that's made it harder to guard guys in a way. Like in some ways, what the guards used to do, like Michael, is really impressive because you could hand check back then. You could hand check Michael Jordan at that time, and in some ways, you could steer him to parts of the court where you wanted to by hand checking him. You can't do that anymore in this today's NBA. Hand checking is not around anymore. So in some ways, the guards have benefited from that in today's game. So I can't say that you're wrong about what you're saying, but realize that this is a huge factor in why guard play is different from the 90s to now and stuff like that. All right, David S is saying Birch, Flynn, DJ Wilson, first round pick, maybe a second as well. That's what they're offering for Jordan Clarkson. I'll say no right now. I will say it no right now. That's way too much. I don't want to give that much to him, stuff like that. And hello to you, Vince, back at you. But that's too much, David. If that's what they want for Jordan Clarkson, it's not worth it. It's like we are saying, like, why would we want Donovan Mitchell for both Gary and OG? That's one player for two really good players that are already solid on our team and stuff like that. And I say the same thing about this. Clarkson is an unknown quantity. If he came to our team, we don't know how he would fit. We don't know if it would work. And you're giving up our best defensive big man that's in a lot of ways. And then, I don't care about Flynn and DJ. I do care about that first round pick to an extent also. So I don't think it's too steep. And once again, like I think we're closed. We're shut down for the offseason as far as making moves. I don't know. They could sign somebody else, cut somebody and sign somebody else still, but I doubt it. I think we're really set up because if you look at the calendar, we're a week into September. Training camp's going to be here in like 2 weeks, guys. And they got to kind of know what's going on and have things kind of planned out and on their way already. Denal saying part of me doesn't want to part with Wilson, especially if we're giving up Cam. Yeah, exactly. Like Kim is, we can't just say Coloco's here and we don't need Kim anymore. That's not a good way to think as a Raptor fan. And a lot of people have already been thinking that way. Coloco's here. We don't need Kim anymore. Let Kim walk. That's not the way to think because we need some. Coloco's not going to stay on the court when he first starts playing. Like I've said many times, he's going to get in foul trouble. And Kim needs to teach him. He's a very, very good teacher within the team for the young bigs like Precious and Coloco now. So that's part of it too. Is Cam on the down low is like a Thad. He's like an Otto Porter. He's a vet on our team that can teach guys that are younger than him the knowledge and he is accrued from his NBA career so far and how to deal with certain players, certain situations, certain plays, and stuff like that. And that's very valuable. I know Precious in particular last season learned a lot from Kem Birch as far as low post defense and positioning and different things like that. So we got to think about it that way, that Chem is very helpful for our young bigs to get better faster. And if we trade him away, then maybe we don't have that teacher on the team to really help in the moment of the games and stuff like that. So And I'm with you. And I want TJ Wilson to make this team. I feel like his story with this past year with the Raptors of up and down, coming in as a replacement player, doing well at different times, but then getting hurt at the worst time and not getting shot. And now he's back with us, and he's actually done fairly well in summer league at Rico Hines. I think that DJ Wilson deserves a chance to at least try and be on our team this season. Seriously, because his offense is a good thing that we need off our bench. We really do. Let's see. Paul B saying our opinions are being skewed by corporations that just want clicks. Wow. I'm glad the Raptors don't fall into that. It's hard work that gets you ahead with this franchise. Yeah, I mean, man, there's a lot in what Paul's saying here. Listen, it's like with everything. There's a whole war going on in the US with the education system right now about what should and shouldn't be taught in school. There's people banning books. There's people saying that calling things critical race theory and saying that you shouldn't talk about this, you shouldn't do that. Well, you got to realize that there are powers that be that are out there that want to shape our perceptions and our things. And it's a little bit more on the down low. And this happens in the NBA. They want to shape people's opinions about our team and our organization and who we are and stuff like that. And that's why we see us get estimated every single year as far as like predictions and rankings, stuff like that. This is all part of it. And a lot of it really does have to do with that we're just the only team in Canada. It's economics. There's a wall. There's different currencies. They don't make money off us in the same way in the US and stuff like that. It's a very weird, bad situation in some ways. But as much as it is a bad situation, it's also a good situation. And we have advantages from it also. That Masai Ujiri has said this over the last 10 years or so since he's been in charge that we have disadvantages being the only Canadian team in the NBA, but we also do have real advantages also. And that he likes to focus on those advantages more than worry about these disadvantages. Like we can't control whether ESPN is going to say what and this, and we can't control if NBA 2K23 is going to make this rating or this or this. All we can do is, as the Raptors team, is wake people up to the reality of the world. And that's what we did in 2019. We woke people up to the reality of the world. We wake them up every year when we're a contender. We're one of the top Eastern teams and stuff like that. And this is what we have to continue to do. But that machine, that corporate machine that shapes opinion and wants to direct money from economics in different ways, it will be trying to do things like this on the download to slight us just because they don't want us to be followed. Maybe they don't want us to have a lot of fans in the US. They don't want money coming to Canada in some ways. And when we won the championship, the GDP of Canada went up. So it could be very in general, just like, there may be Illuminati USA people that are like, we can't have Canada making money off the NBA when we could have had one of our cities in the United States get that boost and bonus from winning a championship in their city. It's a similar thing to when the Blue Jays won the World Series those 2 years in the 90s. It was a similar kind of thing after that. It was like, oh man, this is the American pastime. Why is a Canadian team winning? There's a lot of Americans that feel this way. And that perception and the way that builds, it does put us at a disadvantage. But hey, it's all the sweeter when we overcome it all and we win anyway. I love it. Lolita is saying, Tatum is wait, hang on. That's the second one. I think that Siakam is really shy. So talking and being the center of attention is not his thing. What do you think? I completely agree with this. This is absolutely true. The Siakam is not totally a vocal leader on the Raptors. He's more of a leader by his play and his training, the way he carries himself, his stuff like this. He's such a nice dude. You can tell that Siakam has such a good heart and that he's just a very caring and considerate person. I love Pascal so much. And I love that he's in charge in a lot of ways, that he's the leader of our team because he is a humble guy. And he says, as he says, humble hustle, and that he's doing it for you. And that, he got this big amount of money, this paycheck, this huge contract, and he has not rested on his laurels, that he continues to work as hard as he can. And it really tells us a lot that at the end of Rico Hines, he said, I'm still not where I feel like I should be. And we're all like, oh my gosh, you played so good at Rico Hines. Oh my gosh, Pascal. But I love him. I think you're right. He's not totally comfortable being the center of attention in some ways. but he really is our best player right now. Yeah. David S is saying at Denal, I agree, but we have to give up something, and I have no interest in trading any of our top 10 guys. Well, I don't want to give up anything. We don't have to do this deal. Jordan Clarkson, I've never been that high on him. I've heard different things about him and stuff like that, but he's not somebody that I just absolutely say, "Ooh, the Raptors have to get him. We have to get him." He's not like that to me. He's kind of ho hum. And if there's too much going the other way, I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. I think we're fine. That's what I'm saying, David. I think we're fine. We can just chill with the trade speculation and the wanting to kind of shift our roster around at this point. I think our roster is where it should be going in the season at this point. Denal saying it's also your hard work and merits that get you paid, Paul B, not just your name. Yeah, exactly. Like for sure, Lamelo's going to get attention because kids are attracted to how fun he is, and he's hip and he's fun and stuff like that. But like I said, what does that translate to? More viewers watching the game because he's exciting? Sure. But does that actually translate to winning? Does that actually translate to winning at the highest level? And I feel like sometimes if a player is not fundamentally good in basic ways, that it's not a player that'll ever win. That's just how it is. That's always how it's been in the NBA, stuff like that. You can't be as careless as he is with the ball and some of the things he does on the court and expect to be able to play in high pressure situations that are really crazy and do the right thing. If you have bad habits already, when you get into those really bad situations, they will be even worse in those situations. That's kind of where I'm getting at with that. Let's see. Sue is saying, isn't it a shame that we value players more simply because they wear flashy shoes or have more antics? Their play on the court is what we should be ranking them for. Yeah, I think that we are. I think that there's just some young people or something like that. A lot of it is ESPN. When ESPN came around in the 80s and they started showing dunk highlights, that really changed the NBA. It made people really value dunkers like Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins a little higher because it was such an interesting, fun thing to watch their highlights. And that it's really kind of like the same kind of people that overvalue offense or being really good offensively or scoring a lot. See, you have to balance in the NBA. You can't just be an overpowering great offensive player. You have to have solid defense and rebounding. In fact, that may be more important than the scoring stuff, the defense and the rebounding. Now, and like to a casual fan, they just want to see highlights. They want to see cool dunks. And they're not as interested in seeing like grinded out tough defense like Ken Burch might do or something like that. That's not attractive to them. So they have no value in it. And that's a great example right there of the difference. LaMelo Ball's flashiness and all that kind of stuff on the court versus Ken Burch's just steady, everything doing right, but on the down low doesn't really make any flashy things or anything attractive to that. That's what I'm saying. It's like you can be that kind of fan that loves just the flash and the sizzle, or you can be that kind of fan that loves the real hard work, the real fundamentals, the real deep stuff that actually wins championships, the steak. You either want to be a fan of the sizzle or the steak. It's your choice. And it's fine either way. You can be a fan of dunks and those great highlights and LaMelo Ball. That's fine. But I'm a fan of winning, and I'm a fan of winning championships. I'm just like Masai Ujiri. We're only here to get Larry O'Brien's. We're not here to make no-look passes and flashy, dunks and stuff like that. We're here to win. That's what we're here for, baby. Yeah. Lolita's saying Tatum is a very good player, but he's not a superstar yet. He is a very good player, and he could be a superstar. It would help him if he had won a championship this year. That would have definitely helped him with his superstar status. But we've seen him fail in very important games. We've seen him not show up at different times when they've really needed him. In fact, we've seen Jaylen Brown do more to show up in times when the Celtics needed them the most. And that's what I'm saying with Jaylen there with them. Well, if we're going to treat Pascal and OG and Fred the same way, it's like, oh, they're all kind of the same and none of them are really like superstars. Well, we should be saying the same thing about Tatum and Brown, because Brown to me is almost as equally good as Tatum. And in some ways, I think Brown is better than Tatum. He's definitely more clutch for helping them when they really need somebody to help them, stuff like that. So let's see. Paul B saying yes to Clarkson. Montrez on Sixers is one of the last places I wanted to see him land. I'm just picturing fouls and muscling in points. Yeah. Okay. When I saw that Harrell signed with the Sixers yesterday, I was like, ooh, this isn't good. I know Random Gamer's real happy. If you watch me later, Random Gamer, congratulations. This is a big move for the Sixers. Because one of the things that they lacked when they played us in the playoffs this year was some size to battle our overwhelming big size. Sure, they had Embiid, but after that, who is their next biggest guy? Like Georges Niang and Tobias Harris? Well, now they've got a real power forward, and they've also got PJ Tucker. So they've beefed up a little bit since we saw them in the playoffs. And this could be more because of how they saw we played them in the playoffs and where they saw deficiencies on their team. That they went and got a little bit more big beef. And Harrell, we've seen a lot of him in the last month because he's been at Rico Hines. We've seen him wearing his toque and dunking and doing all kinds of cool stuff. His shot looks real good with his turnarounds and his from the baseline kind of shot fading away stuff. He's doing a lot of that at Rico Hines. I'm not happy about this move, and I am going to say right now this is a good move. In fact, I think this move may be better than some of the big high-profile trades that we've heard about in recent news right now. That this may help the Sixers way more than some of these other moves, like maybe DeJounte Murray. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People may think I'm crazy, but this is something that the Sixers have seriously lacked. And now they got Montrezl Harrell. That really helps. And this is the thing: Sixers fans want him to start right away. And you think about that. That's Maxey, Harden, Harris, Harrell, and Embiid. That's a very good starting lineup. And that is a classic, like real lineup with the right players in the right positions. That, you got a real power forward now, finally starting for them. Like Harris was starting at power forward. He's not a power forward. He's a small forward. Now they've got a power forward to start next to him. And they all want Harrell to start over Tucker. They don't want Tucker to start. They want Tucker to be the backup, the six man, and stuff like that. So this is an interesting development for the Sixers roster. It's not something I'm very pleased about. In some ways, I have a lot of respect for Harden and Harrell from seeing their work at Rico Hines and the way they work with the Raptors and stuff like that. So I'm not happy about this. I know they're going to be a lot tougher now that Montrez is there and stuff like that. Let's see. Tom Duke is here. Good to see Tom Duke. Harrell is a great ad for the Sixers. Not going to matter versus Raptors. Our boys are better. I hope you're right, Tom. And this is true. Like Harrell's going to be a bigger matchup against guys like Precious and Cam and Koloko and Scotty, people like that. He is going to be a little bit more of a problem and stuff like that. I love Scotty saying this the other day. He's looking at the 2K stuff, and they say that Pascal's a power forward center. He straight up said, "No, Pascal's a small forward," is what he said. And also the roles, they have different roles that they put with them. They're putting him as a well-rounded four. Well, Scotty doesn't like that being his characteristic as a 2K player. He wants to be a two-way shutdown defender. I mean, a two-way playmaker. That's what he said. He wants to be his distinction to be two-way playmaker, which means that he's like good on both ends of the court, and he's also like a point guard. And that's what Fred is. Fred is a two-way playmaker as this distinction on here. And that's what Scotty thinks he should be also. So, yeah, Scotty was kind of looking at this stuff and he kind of correcting it the way he sees it in his mind. And that was very interesting to me. They say he straight up said Pascal's a small forward this week. And he also said that his distinction should be two-way playmaker. That's what he would like to be in the game and stuff like that. Tom, I think you're right. Obviously, we're a Raptors channel. We're going to believe that the Raptors can beat the Sixers no matter who they come in with and bring whoever. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring your best, Philadelphia. We'll be ready to face y'all. And I love this rivalry. We love you Sixers fans that come in here and talk to us. This is the thing. We share the love between these two teams, but we still enjoy the competition and good basketball. We just want good basketball and entertainment. That's what we're talking about. Evelyn saying, good morning, Evelyn. So good to see Evelyn. I'm so happy to see Evelyn. Good morning. At the moment, 24 are watching, but only 4 click the like button. Okay, Granny Evelyn's getting on, y'all. She wants to see y'all hit that like button. Thank you, Evelyn, for looking out for me and stuff like that. Last night was a little tough. Tom, you saw what happened on the stream last night. It's a little sad. I'm a little sad this morning and stuff like that. Disappointed. But you know what? I don't even want to talk about it because, listen, I'm staying positive. I'm a positive Raptor fan. I do the right things for the team. And in this moment, I'm going to do the right thing and turn the other cheek and not even talk about what happened last night on Scotty's Twitch, which was really sad. Honestly, I was very disappointed. And I want you to know, Scotty, this is not a place where I'm trying to make a bunch of money or anything like that. This is a place where I'm trying to build a community of positive Raptor fans where we can get together and build up good energy for y'all to do the best you can on your court. And I am all about you guys winning Larry O'Brien's and you being as successful as possible. And I don't know if you got the wrong idea about what I'm trying to do on this channel, Scotty. and stuff like that. So please dig a little deeper and understand what I'm doing here is not trying to make money off of you, okay? Because I'm not making any money on this channel. I put a lot of time and work into this channel and I'm not making any money. So don't worry about that, Big Four. We'll just put it that way. All right. All right, let's see. Vinny Max saying, thanks. I was having that debate and wanted your thoughts. Awesome. Well, I'm glad. Hey, listen, anytime it's basketball, I love talking about any era of basketball. I could go back and talk about the 40s if y'all want. I've researched the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. I know a lot about basketball, and it doesn't just pertain to my lifetime. I've gone back and studied different eras and the differences, and I know a lot of the main players from different years and what who was winning when and all that kind of stuff. I am definitely a student of the game. So yeah, I love an intelligent conversation about any NBA related kind of stuff. And Vinny, I love that you've been coming here recently. I really love that you're here in retirement. And I think Triple H is doing a good job. You know, the company's doing well. AEW's in trouble. Let's just put it that way. Rank Scrub saying hand checking will be allowed back as long as you catch the player instead of striking and you make contact with the center of mass. Yeah, this is something that Nick Nurse is actually like kind of lobbying for. He wants hand checking to come back in the league to a certain extent. He said this in Hungary. They asked him some questions about hand checking and different things in the game and stuff. And he kind of wants some different levels of hand checking to come back. Of course, it'll probably really benefit us because of our defensive like mentality and the way we play and already our system and stuff like that. And that may be part of the reason why he's lobbying for this. But yeah, the rules aren't totally clear right now. Like Scotty said, if you put two hands on somebody, then you're getting a foul right away. But if you just have one hand and you're kind of guiding them, I don't know. It's really, hand checking isn't always so clear cut. It's a very gray area kind of thing. I'm a fun guy saying, damn, you seem really high on Kem Birch. I believe he's by far the easiest to go in a trade. He won't even see minutes. I'm not high on Kem at all. I'm extremely high on Kem Birch, fun guy. It's because, listen, I understand what he can bring us is stability. Like, there's a lot of teams that have trouble getting a presence down low at the beginning of a game. And Kem does that for us. I'm sorry. Like, he can really help us in ways that, like, Gasol might have, like, a couple years ago as far as just having a presence and establishing some sort of defensive presence in the low post that can allow them not to get easy baskets and get the offense going for the other team too easy. There's a lot of unspoken things that Kem does for our team that like you really got to understand. And yeah, I do value him a lot. I don't think he's one of the first to go in a trade. I really don't. There's other guys on the team that could probably go in a trade first. But yeah, I do really maybe I do value him too much. But once again, I'm a loyal guy. I love guys that are loyal, and this is a guy who was a Raptors fan as a kid. I think he may be the first ever Raptor who's espoused that he was a big time Raptors fan when he was a kid, and that he's living his dream. I don't want to crush his dream. Plus, he's Canadian, stuff like that. His mom just got married this weekend. She's got a new husband just happened this weekend. So there's a little bit of insider Raptor Freak news right there. Kem, congratulations, Wendy, on your new marriage. That's awesome. So Kem's got a new stepdad and stuff like that. But yeah, listen, I know that he gets a lot of grief right now. So I need to be a counterbalance to, some of the opinions that are similar to yours. I'm a fun guy because I don't want people to run him out of town or make him feel bad. He's hidden himself from people on social media a lot in the last 6 months because he has gotten more than his share of grief in different ways. And I don't like that. This is a space for us to be positive and build up our players and make them feel good and make them do the best they can, not to tear them down, not to criticize them, not to make them feel like slighted and stuff like that. So it's that kind of thing. Paul B saying, did you already speak about Reggie Perry already? We kind of talked about this the other day a little bit because G broke the news on our stream. I guess it was yesterday or something. I don't know. It was in the last 2 days. Yeah, Reggie Perry, they're lining up to get him back on 905 for the season also. That's fantastic. Like, seriously, I mean, this 905 team is going to be so good. It's crazy, like all the talent that we're going to have on Raptors 905 this year. And that really kind of speaks to how we have an overabundance of guys that want to be on the Raptors at this point. That it's such an attractive place to be. We've got guys like Ron Harper Jr. Wanting to be here as an undrafted player, just like Justin did last year, Justin Champagnie. that, Wancho, we got Gabe Brown, we got Jarrett Culver, we got Jalen Harris, we got who is going to be on this 905 team, and how nasty is this team going to be? It's going to be really, really interesting. I love it. 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 Lolita's asking, "Where's Mo?" I don't know. I guess Mo's not here this morning right now. That's okay. Mo was up last night watching this Twitch last night, and I think she was on there with us watching. She said something in the comments that she stuck around for the whole Twitch last night. So I was there too. I just stopped talking at a certain point because I had to do some other things. I was working and just kind of listening to Scotty play Fall Guys with Lloyd and all them, but not really like participating in the chat at that point. Let's see. Shane saying, "You are 100% right about Cam. Love this guy as a teacher, and he is necessary at certain times of the game, especially starting against certain times for now. He's part of our veteran like brain trust. He's part of the guys who has experience that we really, like I said, last year, our average age of our team was very low. It was close to Oklahoma City Thunder. And that we need to have these older guys. Like Kem is skewing towards the older guys, and that we need our average age of our team to be higher if we really seriously want to be a real championship contender in the NBA. That these young teams, you can catch fire and get some luck, and boom, win a championship. But who was on our team when we won the championship? Mark Gasol, Serge Ibaka, Kyle Lowry. These are guys that had a lot of experience. So we need to find some experience throughout our roster, and Cam is part of that experience that is very like valuable right now and stuff like that, because we lack it to a degree also. Like Thad, Cam, and Otto, and then you got Pascal and Fred. These are really our only vets. Everybody else is within their first 3 years of being on the team and stuff like that for the most part and stuff. Okay, I should say Boucher also is a vet, and OG at this point is getting up there to be a vet too. So Duke Rocks is here. Always good to see Duke Rocks, because I'm sure Duke is always rocking it wherever he's doing whatever he's doing in his life and stuff like that. What's Duke saying? Growth is the most important thing for our young players. Koloko needs to get his reps. I'm hoping we can get him 15 to 20 minutes a season. Wow, that'd be awesome if he can make that much time on the court. Like I said, I'm really worried he's going to get foul trouble quick. Like he's going to be the kind of guy that's going to get 3 fouls within a minute. Like there's going to be a game, one of his first games, I'll bet you. Like one of his first 5 games, he's going to get like foul trouble right away. And Nick Nurse is going to have to yank him out right away and stuff like that. It's just part of the growing pains of becoming an NBA player and learning the way they call the whistle. And because he has such long arms and the way he is, he's going to look like he's fouling people, even though he isn't from time to times and stuff like that. That's going to be part of it. Duke's also saying, regarding to Birch, he'll help in coaching Koloko, but we do have Young and Porter that can point him in the right direction. Yeah, those guys, they're different kind of leaders, though. Birch is a center, and he does play center kind of basketball, and he was our only center. Like Aaron Baines was such a not a good center for us in Tampa. And then when Birch finally came in, oh my gosh, he was like a savior, because he actually could play center, capable center minutes that we didn't get from Alex Len or Aaron Baines that season. And Freddie Gillespie came in too, and he did somewhat of it also for us. I was crying out for that. That is what I'm talking about. You need capable guys like that on your team. And I don't really think like Koloko is a capable center in the NBA at this point. You can't say that. He hasn't played yet. We don't know if he can stay on the court. And none of the other guys are really truly centers on the team. Cam is the only other center on the team. Scotty can play some center, but I don't want him to play too much center, but he can. But the rest of them are really not centers, and they shouldn't be really guarding big guys like Jokic and Embiid a whole lot. That Kem Birch is the best guy to guard those guys, and hopefully Koloko will be the next guy that'll be good at it too. Precious can do it a bit too himself. But yeah, it's that kind of stuff. Young and Porter, Young is a good like leader as far as experience and teaching and stuff like that, but he's not really a good. I mean, I guess he can guard center a little bit, but I'm just saying, just trust me. Kem Birch is the dude teaching Precious, and that is valuable in itself right there. Tom Duke saying Sue Bird's career over 20 years, pretty impressive. That game last night with Las Vegas and Seattle was a barn burner. I know that Vegas was really kicking their butt early in the game and stuff like that, but I love how this series in particular, the Seattle Las Vegas WNBA playoff series, has been played in the last week or so. couple weeks has been so exciting, and it really is getting more attention on that league, and it's so cool. Congratulations to Sue Bird on such a great career. I mean, you're amazing, honestly. And the fact that you played your whole career with the Seattle Storm is fantastic. I have so much respect for you, Sue Bird. And I just wish you all the best and whatever endeavors and things you're going to do post career and stuff like that. Yeah, really good stuff, Tom. I'm glad you brought this up. Duke's saying not advocating for Jordan Clarkson, just saying Birch is expendable. See, now Duke, I just made the points that I would disagree with that, and I won't repeat them. You just heard what I would say about that. That he's a really good, valuable teacher and stuff like that. So, Marlon's saying I've been looking at a lot of Pascal Siakam film footage lately from the 2019 championship run to his 2022 season. He is a walking mismatch. I agree with this. I mean, it's like, look, it doesn't matter who you put on him. You put a bigger guy on him, he's going to be faster than him. You can put a smaller guy on him, he's going to be over him, taller, or shoot over him, stuff like that. Pascal can score at will. And the thing is, he can score on any team at will. It doesn't matter. These defenses are triple teaming him. They are fouling him. They're doing everything to try and stop him. And he gets through anyway. He finds a way and he makes it. And if you looked at these highlights you're talking about, Marlon, if you watch them from that the playoff run where we won the championship with Kawhi next to him to now, you can see an evolution because he was not getting as much attention when Kawhi was around, obviously. And when Kawhi left, they really zoned in on him, and he had to totally kind of like get used to being that primary focal point of the other team's defense. And he's really, even though that's happened, that has not hurt him so much. He's still able to be overpowering on the offensive end and get his buckets. And that's a really big testament to him working and adjusting to being the guy that they all key on now. And that's not easy. Some guys don't get past that level and still find success. And that's a testament to Pascal working really hard and figuring it out and stuff like that. I think this year he's going to finally get some calls and hopefully he'll get to the line more and get a little bit more respect from the referees. I really hope that's true. So we'll see if that happens and stuff like that. I'm a fun guy saying Birch is most certainly in the deal for Clarkson. I've seen Kem, Malachi, and a pick apparently. I do that in a heartbeat. See, I don't feel like we need Clarkson. Like, what is he going to bring that we don't already have? That's what I'm saying. It's like you want different pieces of the puzzle that are different flavors of different things. And that Kem is a certain flavor of something that you need for the ingredients of a championship team as a role player. And that Jordan Clarkson, well, we have Gary Trent Jr. We have OG. What is he going to give that we don't get from those guys? That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's like just because he's very talented, maybe he's a name, maybe people like, oh, he comes to our team, will be better. That may not necessarily be true. That you may be giving up some on the down low things that are very important that Kem brought that we just didn't understand. And then all of a sudden he's gone. Like, listen to it this way. One of the biggest problems I had with the year in Tampa was we had no depth at center. We lose him, that's losing depth at center. And that makes us a smaller team overall. And that makes us a little bit like more susceptible to being bullied by very big centers in the league. So I'm not about this. We need Kem specifically, partly just for Embiid. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. We need different role players. We can't just have a whole bunch of talented wings on the whole team, and that's all we have. We do need a little bit at each end, whether it's Fred and Kem at the very ends of things. Fred with point guard, little guy stuff, and Kem with big guy stuff that isn't totally wing stuff, but he does take care of like defensive stuff against really big centers and stuff like that. That's kind of what I'm looking at and stuff like that. Alistair saying 2K is not to be taken serious. Look at the ratings in particular, not even close. How Gary Trent Jr. has 50-something premier defense. Yeah, it's egregious. And that really is what the stream is about today. Is that 2K is like this. It's like Scotty tweeted to the guy who, Ronnie or whatever, Ronnie 2K23, said, where's my copy? You would send me my copy. And then I saw that Ronnie must have something to do with 2K23. So I wrote him. I was like, you are insulting the Raptors starting lineup by you. I think you got them all about 2 points too low, all of them in different ways. And Scotty probably will be an 86 by the end of the season, at least, is what I'm saying. But I love that you're saying this, Alistair. We shouldn't take them too seriously. But also in the same token, a lot of people shape their perceptions of the players in the league from looking at that stuff. Like stat nerds or video game nerds will look at all this and they will really shape the perceptions that these people have of the players in the league and stuff like that. And that is a kind of a powerful thing, shaping perception and stuff like that. So let's see. Marlon Toby saying only thing KD has over Pascal is height, tighter ball handle, and a more consistent jump shot. That is it. Pascal is more in his bag in defense. Well, listen, if Pascal's 3-point shot is much better this season, like it's looking like this summer, then he will be closer to Kevin and be more and more on his level. That 3-point shot is one of the biggest differences to me between Kevin Durant and Pascal Siakam. The Siakam wasn't totally consistent with his 3-point shot his career so far. Well, that's different this year, where he is like finally like really consistent with it. He's been moving in that direction, trending in that direction the last couple years with his game. I don't see why he wouldn't make a jump this year if he's really focused on working on that this summer. Him and Scotty in particular are working on their threes. And I think that they'll be way more consistent 3-point shooters this season coming up and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's tough to compare Pascal to Kevin because, Kevin is really a talent we need to respect on a whole other level. But you know what? Pascal's a lot closer to Kevin Durant than most players in the NBA. We have to say that. Like, people should admit that. We can say Brandon Ingram, Pascal Siakam. There's a short list of dudes that are maybe similar to him or close to him. And all the rest of them, you shouldn't be saying that about them. And some people may say I'm crazy for saying that about Pascal in this situation, but you're wrong. Pascal is very much somebody who's closer to Durant than most of the league and stuff like that. So Lolita's saying, you say it, Lex. Being a clutch is a must before you can be considered a superstar and a championship. That's the way it always used to be. The NBA wouldn't make Golden Boys before they did anything like Ben Simmons or Zion Williamson, stuff like that. It's like they went and they said, well, who won the championship? Giannis. Okay, let's push Giannis. Let's put him up. Well, they didn't do that for us. They basically stole our thunder when Kawhi left. They said, well, you won a championship because Kawhi was there and then he's gone. So woo-hoo, you don't get any of that thunder or respect after your championship. It's so stupid. It's Kawhi's one man on that team. And we proved that we're still a winning organization and we're really good. And it is a really major slight against people like Pascal, Fred, OG, Kyle Lowry, Mark Gasol, Serge Ibaka. Kawhi needed us we say this, he needed us just as much as we needed him to win that championship that year and stuff like that. So I really do think that the NBA would be smarter to push players and teams in the league on the merits of how well they're doing and stop pushing teams like the Lakers just because LeBron's on there. I understand he gets viewers and stuff like that, but that team was garbage and stuff like that. And, some of these superstars don't deserve this. Ben Simmons did not deserve the way you guys talked about him in the first few years of his career to a degree. And he's proved it now. And Zion, he's been hurt. Why are you pushing him as already so good? He has not proven anything. And that's what I'm saying. LaMelo, same kind of category. Our guys have proven things, but they don't get anything. And that's the difference. That's what I'm talking about. I'm a fun guy saying Tatum absolutely turned into a very scared cat in the finals. It was embarrassing, but he's definitely a superstar and a whole tier above Siakam, who's not a superstar, but maybe borderline. See, I have to disagree with this also, fun guy. You and I, we agree on a lot, but this is something I'll have to disagree. They are absolutely equal. Like, if you look at their accolades, you look at their stats, you look at their roles on their teams and stuff like that, they're very, very much equal. That one of them can't be a superstar and the other one isn't. You just can't do that. You got to say either they're both not superstars or they're both superstars. That's the only way I can look at it. Tatum and Siakam are very, very equal. And in fact, I put Brown in the same tier as them. And that may be the thing that's getting confused here is that like Brown and Tatum kind of like a lot of what Brown should be getting is going to Tatum. And he gets elevated maybe in a way he shouldn't at the detriment to Jaylen Brown and stuff like that. And I think that Siakam is like, seriously, they're very equitable. Is the way I look at it. So we'll disagree on this one. That's fine. Randolph Phillips is saying they may do a trade like that and trade back one player to give one more opportunity to a few guys that are good enough to make the team, but may get cut. I really hope Bobby's done. I mean, seriously, I really do hope he's done. Like this Josh Jackson thing out of the blue is boom. It's made training camp so crazy. The preseason is gonna be so crazy to see this battle between Wancho, DJ Wilson, Justin Champagny, Josh Jackson, Delano. These guys are all going to be fighting for these spots. Gabe Brown, and it's going to be very, very competitive. I don't know how they can make this any more competitive. Like if they get more players in return or whatever, I don't know. I don't like the idea of it. Like I said, once again, I'm anti-trade. I'm a Raptor fan that's against trading guys like all the time and stuff like that. I really do believe in teams get better when they keep as much as of the core that's working together as much as possible. And you switch little pieces in and out, but I'm not into like going out and getting a Donovan Mitchell like what Cleveland just did. I much rather organically grow the team within the core, and that's where you find a lot of growth. That's like I said a lot of times recently. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but the way they used to do it in the 80s and the 90s with teams, they grew the core together over years. They didn't switch guys out like so often like they do in today's NBA. And that may be lost on some of these teams right now that struggle to do well consistently. And that maybe we're smart and we understand it as a franchise that the old school way of doing things is the best way. Keep a core together and let them grow together, and you'll get the best gains. And that's really how I look at it. I mean, we could change our players like we change our clothes, just like the New York Knicks do. And when is the last time the New York Knicks have had any players stick around and have kept a nucleus going for a long time? Not anytime recently. And that's hurt their franchise in major ways. That's what I'm saying. They're a good example of what I'm talking about. You trade too much, switch guys around too much, it can hurt your team. And that's why I'm anti-trade Raptor fan. I'm anti-trades. I don't like trades. I don't want them anymore. I'd much rather get guys acquired and stuff like that. And the trade speculation stuff could just go away. Like the Kevin Durant stuff was very annoying this summer for sure. And I know a lot of you guys feel that the same way as me is with this and stuff. So let's see. Paul B saying, I really like Greg's new video on YouTube. Yeah, he had one drop yesterday. I saw. I haven't watched it yet. I'll definitely be checking that out today. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. He's making predictions about the season. Like number one seed in the East, the roster is ready to win. All right, I'm gonna definitely have to see what Greg's saying, Paul. Thanks for bringing it up and stuff like that. Sports guy, good to see you, sports guy. We do a live stream about the Raptors. Positive Raptor fans meeting every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every single morning. You can depend on me. I have a streak going. I'm about to get a whole year in a row of streams in a row. So let's see what sports guy is saying regarding Kem Birch. There's a lot of recency bias because Kem was injured this last year. He was really effective in previous years when he was healthy. Yes, thank you, sports guy, for giving me another piece of information that really supports what I'm saying. We can't go by last season completely with Cam. He was not healthy in a lot of different ways. Well, you got to realize this man, he's out there getting his nose caved in for us. He was out there, he got hurt in all kinds of crazy ways last season. And in some ways, we need to respect him for being the brunt of taking the hits at the very front line of our team. And that is what he's doing. He's a grunt. He's a guy who takes a lot of physicality from the other teams and channels it away so that we can work. He's a guy who sets amazing picks at the top of the key for guys to get amazingly open shots. Just ask Fred VanVleet how much he loves playing with Kevin Birch out on the court, that he can run right around him. So there's a lot of intangibles and important skills that he adds in his skill set to our team. And that it's not fair to base him totally on some of the things from last year because of what sports guy is saying here. He's exactly right that there's recency bias. And this is the same thing that happened with Fred at the end of the season, that Fred sucks and all this. Well, Fred has a hurt knee, and that has a lot to do with his way he was playing near the end of the season and in the playoffs and stuff like that. Denal saying, I was teaching my son some stuff and I missed the Scotty stuff. Does anyone know what Lexi was saying? Scotty thinks Lexi is trying to use him for money. All right, Denal. I'll go into this just a little bit, but I didn't want to talk about it too much. And I do want to handle this very carefully because I love Scotty. I'm here as a positive fan. I want to support Scotty and do things right for him. There was a moment in the stream yesterday on the Twitch stream where Scotty got very angry at me. And it came out of left field. I didn't know it was going to happen. Basically, what happened is yesterday we had trivia, and I invited Lloyd, Scotty, one of Scotty's best friends, to come play trivia with us. He had said last week he wanted to come play trivia with us, so he was going to come. And I sent the link to Lloyd on Instagram so he could come and join and play trivia with David and Peter and Tom Duke, everybody, all the regulars, Raymond Jacob. And he didn't show up, but he obviously went and looked at my link, and then he showed it to Scotty. And I think what happened was Scotty showed up and came to my YouTube page and he saw that I used his Twitch clip saying that, yo, Raptors Freak always here, the thing that's on my page. And he got mad because he thought that maybe I was using his Twitch clip to make more money off my channel. Like, I have made a dime off this channel. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I mean, there's nothing I've gotten from this channel. This is all me just working very hard as a passionate Raptor fan and just the love of the team and stuff like that. But he got really kind of like stingy in a way. He was kind of like, well, if you're making any money, I want my cut. And I could give you a copyright strike on your channel, is what he was threatening me with. And I didn't like that. It was very disheartening and sad in a lot of ways, but also at the same time, listen, if I'm not allowed to have his stuff on my channel because of copyright, I'll take it down. There's no problem with that. I want to clear things up with him and Lloyd and let him know what my intentions are with my channel. That I'm not trying to exploit him for money. And that's the big important thing right there. So there you go, Denal. I went into it a little bit more. It was really sad. It made me really kind of like, I've had a lot of feelings I've had to search through in the last since that happened and stuff like that. Cause it's like, it's disheartening. I don't want to upset him. I'm not trying to piss him off. I thought that because, it was like a clip, but he really read into it the wrong way and stuff like that. So I'm hoping I can do some damage control. It's not that he's banned me or stuff like that. And he didn't really bring it up anymore and stuff like that. It's just he said a lot of things in anger towards me yesterday. And I didn't it was tough to take. But I am going to circle back and talk to Lloyd about this and see if I can clear things up, because I can get Lloyd on his streams by himself and really talk to him directly about what happened. Because it may be Lloyd showed him the channel and all he saw was his Twitch stream on there and he got pissed. And I'm like, I don't understand why he'd be pissed about that anyway. I'm a fan. I'm on his team. I'm not against him. I'm not here to be a power to hurt him. I'm here to help him as much as I can, stuff like that. So, all right, let's keep going. Skater Dylan, good to see a New England fan, a Boston Celtics fan. Crazy. The reigning defensive player of the year is an 82, but Steph is a 96. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of gripes going on right now. Kevin Durant publicly very upset with his 96 rating versus he wanted to be a 99. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of people that are upset about this and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting. Marlon Toby's saying, hey, I'm curious to know your opinion of Udonis Haslem's role on the Miami Heat bench. The Lakers had a similar veteran role player years ago, too. I'm trying to remember which player you're talking about from the Lakers that hung around a whole long time. Was it like Derek Fisher or somebody like that? No, listen, Haslem is amazing. Like Scotty brought it up on his Twitch one day talking about Haslem, that Haslem's played for the Heat his whole life. Like, that's the crazy thing. Scotty was born in 2001 and Haslem was already on the Miami Heat. And now he's like, it's that crazy that like he's still in the league. This will probably be his last year. And he's not really playing. He's just kind of sitting on the end of the bench and being a part of it. He's a lifer with that team. And that's kind of admirable in a lot of ways. It's admirable two ways. It's admirable that he is such a lifer himself. And then the franchise has catered to him and kept him around like that. That is a culture builder. To have somebody like Haslem be a common thread throughout a long part of the history of the Miami Heat. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I'd love to have that on our team. I'd love to have a Udonis Haslem kind of player that stays on our team for like 2 decades at some point in some time. In fact, I just read Doug Smith's book again, the We the North book, while I was on the plane, and he's talking about how things hadn't got screwed up with Vince. What if he had stayed in Toronto for like 20 years of his career, if it had worked out in certain ways, Rob Babcock and that stupid stuff hadn't happened and stuff like that? It'd be very interesting. What if Vince Carter had been like Udonis Haslem for the Raptors and been on our team for like 20 years? It'd be crazy. It'd be very interesting. Oh, Monique is here. Go Raptors. Go Monique. Yes, Monique. I saw that you were on the Twitch with Scotty last night. That's fantastic. I'm glad you got on there and you were watching it with him and stuff like that. It is a lot of fun. It's such a good place. I am going to be dialing back my presence on there now going forward. I will still be around and watching him, but I don't think I'm going to be involved in engaging with him until I suss out exactly where we're at and stuff like that. Paul B saying, remember Dragic being booed? I was there. I booed him myself. Rank Scrub saying Birch suffered injuries the same way Baines did. Both players have great defensive impact when they're not getting kneed in the ribs, full speed, or catching punches to the face. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Birch takes a lot of the punishment that the guys up front are going to take. I'd much rather Birch get those licks than Pascal. I'd much rather Birch get those licks than Scotty, is what I'm saying. Now, Scotty can take those licks. He's a tough guy. I'm not worried about him getting hurt, but it's more like sometimes that is the role player you need. You need the anvil. You need the guy who can take that hit from the other guy, other team's big guy. And that's really a big part of the role of Cam Birch. That sometimes that's why Nick Nurse would start him, is to get him out there and establish himself in the paint by taking the brunt of that initial physical force from the starting center on the other side. And once he gets him kind of steady, then he can pull him out after 6 or 7 minutes a game, bring somebody in, because it's already set a tone of kind of holding them out. Because Kem's the best guy that can do that. Now, I'm not saying Scotty and Precious, those guys can't learn this over time and get to be just as good as Kem at that point. But he has the best experience, the most veteran experience at doing it. And he is the most effective at doing it without mistakes. And that's the thing. Precious can do it from time to time, but maybe, a certain amount of times down the court, he fails his assignment still because he's still learning the system. He's only got 1 year with the Raptors and stuff like that. Well, Kem is a vet who's been in the league for a while. He understood our system and he plays it really well. So there's stuff like that that is a part of it also. All right, let's see. Monique's talking about Eric Curry being in Egypt. Yeah, he's in Egypt for Basketball Without Borders. Once again, we see another Raptor related person on that continent doing basketball related things. And that's fantastic. We see Rico over there, Precious, Pascal, Masai, and now Eric Curry is over there in Egypt teaching basketball at Basketball Without Borders. So fantastic. And I'm glad you brought it up, Monique. These are the little stories that sometimes fall through the cracks on this channel that I forget to talk about and comment on, stuff like that. Monique is with me on this. Saw the news on Clarkson and no to Clarkson. Thanks. Yeah, Monique is very much like me with this. She likes who we got. We like who we have in the car with us. We're not ready to pull over and say, hey, you 2-3 guys get out of the car. We're letting Jordan in. No. That's not what Monique and I are about as super fans of the Raptors. We want to see the team we got going forward going into the season. She's saying no on that deal also, and I'm with her. I'm totally with her. Skater Dylan saying, with all the injuries that year with Kawhi, you wouldn't have won it without him. Kawhi is the luckiest person in NBA history. I'm not gonna lie. We understand that Kawhi was essential to us winning that championship that year. But like I said, like he needed us just as much. Like look at what he's done in Clippers since and stuff like that. Now this year could be a lot of fun. Like in some ways, I wouldn't be that upset if the Clippers won the championship this year, because it would really cement Kawhi into another level of like being so important and badass in the history of the NBA. That if he can win a third championship, this is like LeBron did with his career with Cleveland, Miami, and LA, the Lakers. If he can do that, San Antonio, Toronto, and the Clippers, that is really super impressive, adds to his resume and builds his legend, which is linked to our franchise. So I'm not going to be upset if the Clippers are the favorite this year and they start making some major noise out west and stuff like that. In fact, I would really like that. Since San Antonio ain't going to be good this year, I'm going to root for Clippers this year and stuff like that. So Paul B saying Caden, Mobley, and Scotty are all 84. They're all even. Sounds fishy. Well, at least they're all even and on the same level. So that's not a big deal. If one of them was above them or something like that, I'd be kind of upset. But if they're all equal, then we can't complain. I mean, I guess it is what it is. All right, let's see. Where was I? Evelyn saying, though Jordan Clarkson is a Filipino American, I respect all your opinions. All right, yeah. See, she's biased. She'd love to get him here. We've got Ron Harper Jr. We'll get another guy with the same background who's also on the Philippines team and stuff like that. I mean, it would be something. This is part of the reason why a lot of people would love this. The Filipino fans would love to have Jordan Clarkson on our team and stuff like that. It could happen eventually someday, but I think right now the doors are closed. The ride is ready to go out of the station and go around the track. Is like they shut the doors. Nobody else is getting on. We're ready to go for the season, especially with the Rico Hines runs and how much good chemistry we've got going. We don't want to mix it up too much and lose some of these guys who are involved in all that good stuff. Lolita's saying Curry, LeBron, Durant, Giannis, Kawhi are superstars. The rest are a tier or two below. What do you think? I can get behind this. I think Lolita's about right. Yeah, they all have championships. They're all like top tier players in the league. If we're gonna really have like that creme de la creme of the league, I think these are the names. I don't, and I love that you didn't put Embiid or Jokic in this, even though there have been like top MVP candidates. They've never won anything, but these guys have all won championships. So I can get behind this. That this is actually the top tier in the NBA. If you really look at it, these are the five guys. Alistair saying, "What happened, Scotty Twitch?" Scotty got really mad at me and yelled at me at a certain point on the Twitch, and it was sad. I didn't like it. I mean, I don't understand this, man. This guy's got a huge rookie contract. He's going to be making $500 million over his career. We know this man's going to make a bunch of money, but he's really hard up right now. I don't understand it. He's like all about getting money any which way from anyone and stuff like that. And he was telling me that if I'm going to use a Twitch clip from him saying my name on my channel on YouTube, that he wants a cut of my money. So I'm like, I don't know what money I can give you, Scotty. I mean, seriously. I mean, if I already subscribe to your channel and give you money that way, I mean, what am I going to give you, Scotty? Come on. You want me to give you some of my Raptor stuff? I don't know. It's not like I'm made of money or anything. So Duke's saying, where is Birch in the rotation versus Achua, Porter, Young, Koloko, Banton? I get from an insurance point of view, but I just don't see minutes for Birch. It's a situational thing, Duke. And it may be that Birch doesn't play every single game. It may be a look that like Nick likes this look for this matchup or this person, or maybe he has proven history from other games previously where Kem is really good against this particular player and stuff like that. I think it really is going to be like that. Nick said this summer, a lot of how he does his substituting and his rotations is by feel. And if he feels like this is the person to put in, he'll put them in. And it may be that he just wants a different look out of all of our different wings and big guys for different situations. Then you'll get plugged in. I think you might be right that some of these guys may be ahead of him, but you may be surprised. I really look at him as being in the same tier as Thad and Otto. That those three guys are probably going to be used kind of similar as like in certain cases they come in and play or certain things. They'll be the main core guys that definitely get their minutes and play a lot, like the five starters with Precious and Chris. And then like the rest of them maybe kind of plug in and play and maybe don't get huge amount of minutes here and there. Like I don't think that that's going to play a whole lot. That'll be here and there. And Porter may be the same thing. And that Birch may be similar. So I see if we're talking about tiers on the Raptors team for minutes, that's how I kind of look at it. You got your starters and you got Precious and Chris. And then you got that block of those three vets that are kind of like plug in and play for situations and how Nick Nurse feels in that moment in the game. But Birch is definitely a different kind of look than any of the other guys. And that is something we need to realize. We want more flavors of wings on our team. We want those Curry wings, those Kem Birch Curry wings. That's what I'm calling them, the Kem Birch Curry wings. Yeah, I forgot Boucher. Sorry. Yeah, Boucher too. Yeah, you're good. You're good. But we'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. And sure, in some games, some guys aren't going to play a lot. That's just how it works in the NBA and stuff like that. Monique saying so many top three training camp guys now: Jackson, Perry, DJ. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, Reggie, thank God Reggie's not involved in the training camp battle to make the main roster. He's just going to be straight up on the G League team and stuff like that. Paul B saying Kem Birch is a walking screen. Love how he is nonstop looking to help our teammates. I know. I told Scott, he's like, look for Kem more, get him more involved in the offense. If anything, to show that he can score and can do stuff capably to just help us with some of the other fans in this fan base that are down on him. Then maybe if Kem just starts hitting a couple shots and shows some offense, some of these fans will be like, oh, I do see how he's good and stuff like that. Because he is really good shooter too. Like the couple of times we do see him shoot or gets a little aggressive with his shot, he makes the shots. He's a high percentage shooter and he's very capable. Like he's the kind of guy that if we get some plays called for him that are secret and nobody will expect it because he's so unselfish, he could be a guaranteed bucket for us at times and stuff like that. So Top of Top's here. Good to see Top of Top. I like trades with this management because Masai usually wins them. Yeah, it's funny. I was reading the We the North book again, but Doug Smith. Let me show you guys. You guys know this book right here. Reading it on the plane, and one of the reasons. All right, you guys didn't know this or not? Maybe one of the reasons why the Kyle Lowry trade to New York in 2013 didn't go through was because Masai had fleeced New York and James Dolan so badly with the Andrea Bargnani trade that they were hesitant to make the Kyle Lowry to trade to get Kyle Lowry because they looked so bad after the Bargnani trade. So they're like, "Oh, you fooled us, so we don't want to do this." So they didn't. They backed out of the trade to get Kyle Lowry from us at that time. That is the whole reason why that happened, is because the Bargnani trade made him scared to make another trade with Masai because he fooled him. And that's hilarious that that's the way it worked out. And then it was the right move for us eventually anyway, because we won a championship with Kyle on the team and stuff. But I found that really interesting that what you're saying is totally true. Like, as far as like, top of top, as far as like Masai usually does win trades. That's for sure. That is for sure true and stuff like that. So that's maybe why you guys want to see more trades, is because you want to see him like own other owners. I mean, other teams, and like making good deals and stuff. Tom Duke saying at Alistair, SB4 and other celebrities handlers don't always advise the best moves for younger players. Make it all about money too often, and don't realize Lex is all about positiveness. Yeah, listen, like I have to really walk the fine line here. I love Scotty. I want Scotty to be the best NBA player in the world and stuff like that. But in some ways, what he did to me last night was very kind of a jerk and stuff like that. But listen, I'm not here to try and bring him down. I'm here to build him up and talk about how he's a badass and he's going to get all-star this year and he's going to be such a fantastic young player and stuff like that. So yeah, it is what it is. And I can't hand it was shocking to me at the moment, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm just going to try and make the best of the situation through this and stuff. The whole important thing is that I'm going to continue to do this channel no matter what. And he's not going to try and shut me down. It's just who knows. But I think Tom's hitting the nail on here. It's like I worry about Scotty and what he's doing on Twitch right now, because this could cause problems. I've said this a couple times this summer, that there are ways that he could really make his image look bad on here. And I forget about what happened to me. I'm not going to take this personal or anything like that. But he was talking to a couple other fans in the stream last night, very in a bad way. Like in particular, one girl on the stream, he said a couple things to her that was a little bit and different things like that. And it doesn't help that he's saying things like, if you see me in public, don't come up to me unless you're a kid. Like he said that this week after we talked about race mode coming up with his kid. He's like, yeah, I was okay with getting that picture with him because he had kids. But if you don't have kids, don't approach me in public, is what he said. And then even like when a girl said, well, what if I'm a hot girl and I approach you? He's like, still, yeah, don't approach me still. My thoughts on Josh Jackson from Top of Top. I think that he is a fantastic stud athlete. And if he can actually get unlocked by us and become like a really good player on our team somehow, some way, this will show another genius of Masai Ujiri and the Raptors organization, their development, and getting the most out of players that were given up on other teams. And I really hope this happens, because in some ways, the addition of him, if he has a certain level of talent and production and things he can do for our team, it could really help us this year. It could really knock us up a notch as far as how badass our team is. So I'm really rooting for Josh Jackson. But on the range of things, I don't know if he's going to be worth a crap or not. It could be that he just gets cut and that's that. But it could be that he really comes in serious and he takes a spot on our roster. And in some ways, that's what I really hope happens. I really, really do. Tom Duke saying, I bet SB didn't even see it. Probably Lloyd reading it the wrong way. It could be. You're right. That's part of why I want to go back and investigate with Lloyd. It could be. I don't think he actually watched any of the streams like what we're doing right now. I think he just went to my page and he saw that my initial thing on there is him kind of doing an endorsement for me on my channel. And I thought that wouldn't be a big deal. It's whatever. I don't have a problem with taking his Twitch clips off my channel. If he wants to say there's a copyright thing and he has a problem with it, I'll take him down. I'm not going to fight him on this. I want to do what he wants me to do. I stopped hating Richard Jefferson because he told me to and stuff like that. I'm not trying to cause you problems, Scotty. I want to be a good force in your life and somebody that helps you in whatever way I can, stuff like that. It's the same thing when I offered to be your photographer. It was the same thing. It was all good intentions from my heart. It has nothing to do with anything like nefarious or wrong or me trying to make money or anything like that. It's nothing like that. Monique saying, I think Jackson has a good chance. I think so too. I think so too. It could be, we'll see. We'll just have to see. Who knows? Paul B saying, it's a sign of pride. Scotty just got it confused. Yeah, it could be. There's all kinds of different ways it could be and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't want to dwell on it too much. It was something I even debated whether I was even bringing it up on this stream today. In fact, I talked to my father this morning for a while just because I wanted some counsel on how to handle this situation properly without letting my own, problems with myself get involved in the middle of it all and stuff like that. And that's another thing, Duke. I do need to figure out if he's being sarcastic or he's being joking. I don't think he was, though. I think he was being very serious because it wasn't in lighthearted and it wasn't like funny or something like that. I do have a hard time detecting sarcasm in some cases, and I don't think that's what this is at this point. In this point, stuff like that. Yeah, it was no joke. And Tom saw it. Tom was there. Tom saw the whole incident. And he saw what happened and stuff like that. Yeah. It was really, you know what it was? It was silly too. What I was doing was in the comments, there was a lot of things he was saying on the stream that could be clipped out and really hurt him. Like this has kind of been the way because he's been fast and loose lately with what he's saying on there. And at any time, somebody could go on his Twitch and clip stuff out of there and make him look really bad. So he's telling people not to clip his stuff anymore. So I typed into the chat, I said, please, guys, don't clip his stuff. And when he saw that I said that, he's like, you're one to talk. You took my clips and you're using them. That's when he said it. And I was in the reality telling people not to clip his stuff. And he's like, oh, you're one to talk. You're the one who's doing it. I'm like, oh, and stuff like that. Okay, let's see. Monique saying, congratulations on 1 year next week, Lex, on YouTube. Thank you, Monique. Listen, this has been a grind, especially the last 2 months of the off season has been a grind. Oh my gosh. But I am really feeling like good inertia going into the new season. I'm really excited about what's going to happen. Like, I'm really excited to get back into games and seeing them play and reacting and doing the previews and stuff like that. That's my favorite part of this channel. The trivia is fun, but I really love handling games and talking about them with you guys and like the reactions after the games and talking to you guys, what you guys see and stuff like that. It's so fun for me and stuff like that. Denell saying, thanks, Lexi. I missed it. Sorry that happened from misunderstood. Yeah, listen, I don't want you guys to change your opinion, Scotty, or anything. He's a young kid and like he's a good dude. He has a good heart and he really does. It's like I'm not mad at him. I just like it's just the kind of thing is just deflating and it feels sad and stuff like that. And for me, somebody who is exactly the opposite of him when thinking about money is like, and I don't blame him. He came from a background where he had to grab, and take everything he could financially in his life. And that he may still be in that mode, that he doesn't feel the total comfort of the NBA life and the salary and stuff like that yet, because we know maybe he had some debt in his family already. Maybe he's gone and put a big chunk of his money in real estate just to be set up. Maybe he bought his mom a house or something like that. And he just doesn't have a lot of liquid funds in his life. And that's part of why he's being so kind of like money kind of thing. But me, I'm the exact opposite of him. I try to let money not be such an overpowering, important thing in my life in any kind of way. Like, I'm not out there trying to make the most money in the world. I'm not like these venture capitalists out there that are trying to figure out how to screw over a sucker born every minute just to make $1 off them. That's not me. In fact, I'm very much the opposite. And that's why it's kind of doesn't click with what he thinks I am and really the reality of who I am and stuff like that. So let's see. Tom Duke saying, all good, Lex. SB will see the light. I hope within time we'll figure it out. And like I said, I'm going to support him and love him no matter what, even if he thinks this about me. I don't care. Jacob Main, good to see you, Jacob. What's Siakam overall? Okay, Siakam is an 86, according to the screen capture from somebody got a screen capture of the Raptors versus the Rockets and a load up screen. And they're saying that Siakam is 86. And a lot of the Raptor fans on Twitter and different places are saying he should be at least a 90. Like, seriously, there's some players that are above him at 86 that just have no business being higher than Pascal Siakam. LaMelo Ball is the one that people mentioned earlier in this chat. And I agree. I agree completely. So, Jacob, what do you think? Do you think 86 is the right number for Pascal? I think that's low. I think that's low, personally. Monique's saying, I'm behind Cam. I stand with Cam. I'm on team Cam. I'm all about Cam. Tom Duke's saying, Cam will start if the others are excelling. We know what we get from him. If others are not excelling is what he meant. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, he's a known entity and he's pretty steady. Like, he's not going to be like, this is the thing about him. He may not score a lot in certain games, but he is very, very steady and dependable for certain defensive and rebounding things. things. And that's what I like about him. We want known quantities. We not want reliable people like Fred will make his shot. Pascal will be the lead guy. We want these guys to step into their roles and be dependable. And Kem is dependable in his certain roles already. And we don't want to take away from that and stuff like that. Sue's saying, I think Kem is an important piece for our team. He does take a lot of punches, literally, for the Raps. Yeah, he literally does. I mean, the man's nose was caved in. He could have died on that play. He's risking his life literally down there. They could have just pushed his nose bone right up into his brain, and he could have died on the court in that game against Detroit and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we got to respect this dude. He's putting his body on the line, and he got beat up real bad last year, real bad. Alistair's saying if we can pull this Clarkson trade. See, I'm once again, I'm not big on it. Dylan's saying you read my comment wrong. Your Raptors would have won the title that year without Kawhi, considering all the injuries. Oh, I appreciate that, Dylan. Well, I mean, I hope so. That a lot of people speculate that. I'm not totally sure on that, but I appreciate that you think that. I mean, that would be great. Like part of like once again with the Doug Smith We the North book, he's talking about how Kawhi just took over in the playoffs with when we won in 2019. That at certain points he just went into another gear. He went into Kawhi gear and totally took over. And like he was very serious about that. And this is the argument that people say if you want to win a championship, you have to have that kind of OP player that is so dominant and stuff like that. That's how championships get won. And that's the argument that is made for why he was absolutely essential and stuff like that. Because, think about stuff like hitting huge shots in game pressure situations against Philadelphia in that 7-game series, then the Milwaukee series. And yeah, maybe not in the Warriors series. We may not have needed him as much, but we definitely needed him against Philly and Milwaukee for sure. Because Golden State was pretty hurt by then and stuff like that. And Monique's all about, hell no, Alistair. No, Clarkson. Sorry. Alistair's saying the Clippers with Kawhi are barely a playoff team. You really think that, Alistair? No. This is crazy. We're forgetting how good Kawhi is. Like, one of the stats I've seen recently about Kawhi Leonard is that he has like a 75% winning percentage in NBA games. That means every time he steps on the court, 3 out of 4 times he wins. And that Tim Duncan had a very similar stat with San Antonio his whole career. There's not many players that have that kind of winning clip. So if Kawhi is present and he is in the lineup, they are going to win a lot of games. And they are going to be one of the top teams in the West. Mark my words right now. But that is really dependent on whether Kawhi is there and playing. If he isn't, then it'll be the same like last year. But if he's there, look out. And you can't discount John Wall being there all of a sudden either. He's going to add something to that team. He won't have to be such an important player for them. He can be third banana. And that may actually add a lot of things to him and his play. Kind of like how James Harden's come into Philadelphia. He's not really the dude there anymore. He's more of a role player on the side that's super talented with a lot of experience. And John Wall's addition this summer on the Clippers is a big deal. And they are going to be good. But it is going to really depend on Leonard. And of course, Paul George too. Paul George can stay healthy also because both of them were hurt way too much in the last 2 years and stuff like that. So let's see. Tom Duke saying, skate or die. So true. Lucky for Masai that we did pull it off. Yeah. No luck, though, in Masai. We, the North, must trust. That's right. And Monique says, believe in Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse knows what he's doing. He's the coach. He's going to make the right personnel decisions on who starts, who's going to make this team, all that kind of stuff. We got to trust Nick Nurse just as much as we trust Masai Ujiri. And I'm going to say trust in Kem Birch. I'll put him on that trust list, too. Paul's saying, I'm not a big fan of Kem waiting at the three-point line. Not much of a threat versus his role taking easy push shots in Tampa. He is way better around the lane. Like any kind of little hooks or any like little short jumpers, mid-range jumpers, he's good. He's good with that. Now, he has had to shoot threes from the top of the key, as Paul said, and he will make them. In fact, statistically, he was our best three-point shooter in the playoffs, believe it or not. I think he was like 50% from the three-point line. But you're right. I don't like him shooting threes as much, but that's really more symptomatic of the league being where every big has to be able to shoot threes from time to time, or they'll lay off him and force you to have to take it. And that's those situations when Kem shoots a three is he just has to because they're giving it to him. They're daring him. And he's capable enough to make them from time to time to make them pay for it. But I'm with you. I'd much rather him shooting much closer to the basket and stuff like that. So yeah, Alistair saying maybe he's in a bad mood. I think that's part of it too. He was in a weird mood last night. Like he was very energetic and excited and like really enjoying doing the giveaway for the all right, here we go. We got spammed out. Hide this user. Um uh he was very energetic and excited about doing the giveaway, and he was very hyped. And he was like, "Yeah!" It was fun. He was doing like drum rolls and and it was fun. But like, yeah, I don't know. He had an edge to him. Let's definitely put it that way. He had a little bit of an edge to him, which was interesting. But listen, I'm not. I shouldn't read into it too much, and let's not read into it too much either. Let's see if I can clear it up with Lloyd first, or I'll just let it die. I don't care. Whatever. I'll just get rid of the clip and it's no big deal. I don't want to piss him off, obviously. So let's see. Where are we? Evelyn's saying 86 is way too low for Pascal. That is true. He should be 90 to 95, somewhere in there. Patrick Douglas, you're genuine, period. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that. I'm trying, man. That's all I can be, man. I just got to be myself. And I know that that's part of the reason why some of y'all gravitate towards me is like, I'm just trying to be real and stuff like that. Monique wrote to Ronnie too, Lex. So we're all getting on Ronnie's Twitter, Ronnie2K23. He's involved in developing the game. Maybe he's the person who makes the ratings. Well, he's hearing it from Monique and I on his Twitter right now about the Raptors ratings, and that's great, stuff like that. Okay, we're just over 90 minutes and stuff like that. I've kind of reacted to the Montrezl Harrell signing for Philadelphia. This is a good move by them. They're going to be a little bit more scary. It's something that they lacked against us in the playoffs. It was a little bit more size. We had them on size overall because of our, a positionless guys, all our wings. And then Embiid was really the big guy. And then there was a lot of smaller players that we could bully. Well, now they've got Harrell also on their team, and that is heading in the right direction to deal with us better in that way. So I don't like the move, but I respect it. And Random Gamer, good. You should be excited about this move. Seriously, Sixers Nation, this is a good move for your team, and it does make you guys better. So I have more confidence in this making the Sixers better than Donovan Mitchell making the Cavs better. Let's just put it that way if we're comparing things and stuff like that. So. All right, Skater Dylan's got one more comment here. Does anybody else think Kawhi is the luckiest player in NBA history? Honestly, surprised he didn't join the Warriors. I don't know if he's the luckiest. You've got to understand, there's certain things about Kawhi, like the shot. Let's just talk about the shot in particular. Some people say that shot was lucky in some ways, but I don't believe that. This is the thing about Kawhi. He works super, super hard, and he has fundamentals. Like the opposite of LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball doesn't have exactly the fundamentals I like. Well, Kawhi does. And that really showed in that 4-bounce shot is that he has a certain arc. He has a certain way he spins things off his hands. His hands are so big that he can really get a good control over the ball and manipulate it with his shot. And that's all from years and years of practice and playing hard and working hard and repetition and stuff like that. Kawhi is a real one. When he played for us that year, he was the closest thing that looked like Jordan in NBA history, like recently, to me personally, as far as overpowering and dominant and just taking over the game at both ends of the court, as far as defense and offense. He's the closest thing to Jordan that we've probably seen in the last 20 years, other than maybe Kobe at times and stuff like that. So it's that kind of stuff. So it's like, I don't think he's lucky. I think that he's been manipulative, especially with how he left San Antonio. And then, he really used the situation with us, but we really used him also. And it all worked out for both of us and stuff. But I don't know if lucky's the right word for him. Let's just say he's worked really hard and he's, won at times when good opportunities. Evelyn's saying, learning from all of you beautiful minds. Oh, Evelyn, we love you so much. I've enjoyed seeing your pictures on your vacation. You're at Auto Show or something recently. Evelyn, I'm so glad you came to meet and greet. And I was telling my friend Steve last night about your fire Tracy McGrady jersey. I was like, man, she had the coolest Tracy McGrady pinstripe dinosaur jersey when she came to the meet and greet on that Friday night. It was so awesome. And Monique's talking about Chris Boucher doing off-roading. So cool. Yeah, he's on that four-wheeler at the islands. I don't know where he is exactly. He may be in St. Lucia or something, where his home island. And the other thing that Chris is doing, and I'll end the stream on this, he's doing wrestling moves with his friend into the pool. Like they're doing like fake hitting, and then his friend picked him up like the Undertaker would and choke slammed them into the pool. I think that's hilarious. Chris is so awesome. I love Chris Boucher. stuff like that. Tom saying Kawhi equals load management. Player is not so appealing, but I get it because we got a chip, but wouldn't want to be a Clippers fan last year. Listen, load management is really a fine balance. You can load manage way too much, like what's happening with the Clippers last couple of years, or you can get it just exactly right. And we really did do it right the championship year because he was absolutely protected and perfect for the playoffs. He was in such good shape that he could do what he's doing. And this is part of what we need to cut down on our minutes for our main guys over the season is that it really did show the Kawhi experiment on the Raptors that load management and protecting your players throughout the regular season to be ready for the playoffs with the best health is the best way to try and win championships. And that actually changed the league in a lot of ways, the load management thing that happened with Kawhi. People saw that happen and they're like, whoa, look at Kawhi. He's so fresh. Well, they protected him all season. And now other teams are trying to mimic that. And we're even trying to mimic that still with people like Fred and Pascal and stuff like that. So I think load management is good for the league, for teams to try and have a strategy to win championships. And it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. Now, the NBA may crack down on teams for not having legitimate reasons to sit guys. So there's going to be a lot of making up excuses or injuries for why guys are out and stuff like that. They may need to get one of these insurance investigators that goes to people's houses to make sure that they're really hurt when they're collecting disability and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's very interesting. But he did change the game, the load management that year. Paul B saying, it felt like we were passing the ball to a celebrity when Kawhi got the ball with that roster, and it worked. Should have worked for a few more rings, but what we have is a complete team now. I think we figured out that Kawhi not being on the team after that year has actually worked out to be a blessing in disguise. As people have said this on the stream recently, and I agree with this, that if we were going to get Kawhi like he's been in LA the last couple of years, he may have been more of a nightmare as it went on. It was like, get him in, get a win, and get him out while the getting's good. And before it kind of ruins things and overstays his welcome and maybe pisses us off with the kind of the drama and things like that. Clippers fans aren't like, they're excited. They love him. They love having a big player on their team, but they're still kind of like, when are we going to get to see him? And this is frustrating and stuff like that. And it could have been very much the same. And the other thing that somebody brought up on the stream the other day about this is that he would have taken away a lot from young development of people like Pascal, OG, Scotty, Precious. These guys, we may not have Scotty at this point if Kawhi had been on our team, stuff like that. So I think it was a blessing in disguise that we only had him for 1 year. We won a championship and he's out and stuff like that. I think that actually worked out really well. Monique likes Chris and Abraham. That's his friend, Abraham, that did the choke slam. Skater Die is saying, I love the Raptors, but where was Pascal in consideration for Defensive Player of the Year? Where was Pascal in MVP rating? What's his 3-point percentage, field goal percentage, free throw percentage? Where did he rank in MVP voting? I don't see 90 plus. Kawhi doesn't have the ball in his hand enough. All right. About that stuff with Pascal. Really? You love the Raptors and you love Pascal, but you don't see him like that? Like, all right, LaMelo's higher than him. He should be higher than LaMelo. Can you agree with that at least, Skater Dylan? I really see him as being seriously like 92. I said 90 before, but I think he's like 92 and stuff like that. They need to give him more respect. He's not just a top 20 player in this league. He's a top 15 player in this league. He may be 15 or 14, but he is in the top 15. He's an all NBA. That's 15 guys. That means he's top 15. And I don't see anybody knocking him out of there right now. In fact, I think he's going to be even better this year. And that they're going to have to continue to give him all NBAs because he's going to be that good over and over again. So, yeah. Where did he rank in the MVP voting? Well, he's not going to get any votes for that. They're not going to look at him for that and stuff like that. But his three-point shooting is going to get better. His field goal percentage is actually real good, and he shoots okay at the free throw line. So I don't know. His three-point shooting is going to get better and stuff like that. So, and he doesn't get considered for a Defensive Player of the Year, even though he is a really good defender. He doesn't get any attention for that because he's more focused for his offense and stuff. But he, on the down low, is a super good defensive player. And could actually, like if he was on Team in the States, he might get a lot more attention for his defensive ability and stuff like that. So Tom Duke saying Steph values his recent championship with more than this championship with the Snake. He said that publicly. Well, he should. And it does speak a lot more to Steph Curry and his legacy and stuff like that. Kawhi doesn't have the ball in his hand enough. Well, he'll get it when he finally gets back. He will. He's going to have the ball. He should be the main guy. Because, like, seriously, honestly, if he had been healthy more in the last couple of years, I honestly think people would be talking about him with Kevin Durant and Giannis and those guys at the very top of this league. Because that's really where he is and who he is. It's proven. It's just that recency bias. Once again, we haven't seen him do it in a while, so everybody kind of lowers his value and who he actually is. Did you see the Pascal Scottie Pippen comparison on Twitter, Lex? Yes. And it looks very identical. That's what I'm saying. I said the other day is like Scotty's like Magic Johnson. Well, Pascal's kind of like Scottie Pippen. And the stats prove it. You look at the stats, and they have a similar type game in certain ways and stuff. They can do similar things. They're just as much good at blocking shots, stealing the ball, all around players and stuff like that. So thanks again for joining me today, guys. I appreciate every single one of you. Please subscribe if you can. I'm not here to try and make no money off y'all or anybody. I'm just here to keep you informed and try and be like building something better for the Raptors as a fan base and making things more positive and supporting our team and keeping you guys informed. Like I said, that's my main goal, is to, like, if I go and mine all this little information, different things that happen around Raptors world, and you guys can just come here and learn most of it without having to go all do that work that I do. That is part of why I'm here and what I'm doing right now and stuff like that. It's all about sharing and keeping us informed as one of the most knowledgeable fan bases in the NBA. And that's what we're doing, baby. All right. Thanks again, guys. Wait, whoa. You got to take that down. What? You got to take that down. Why? Scotty doesn't like it. All right. I'll take it down. Let's go, Raptors!